So how the campaign kind of works is, as a small independent business, you can sign up for an affiliate link. Any purchase that comes from that affiliate link, you'll get 50% of the revenue associated with that purchase.
So today we've got Brendan Pape from Brist Manufacturing and Evan Pollock from Pollock Pictures. And welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Good to see you.
So Brist Manufacturing is doing some really neat things during this time of coronavirus in our community. Brendan, can you talk a little bit about what you guys have been able to do in the last couple of weeks to support local businesses throughout our community and other communities?
Yeah, absolutely. I think about 3 weeks ago, we launched a campaign called We Got This America. And the goal of that campaign was to try to improve our situation because much of our business had halted, and also leverage our resources to help small and mid-sized businesses across the country and better their situation. So how the campaign kind of works is, as a small independent business, you can sign up for an affiliate link. And when you share that link with your followers or loyalists, fans, family, and whatever, any purchase that comes from that affiliate link, you'll get 50% of the revenue associated with that purchase. And like I mentioned, the goal was to kind of get creative. At the time, our business had halted. We don't traditionally do kind of B2C. So we kind of use that downtime to get creative and try something different. And it's definitely been a fun experience. We've learned a lot. And I think just the process of launching it was one of the most exciting parts because it was done in a very short, quick window.
Yeah, and one of the signature parts of this launch was this video that you guys released and featured local businesses and just sort of the state of shock that everyone was in. What was that process like working, with Evan? Obviously, he was brought in on this project, and I'd love to hear more about your creative process from the idea to the execution.
Totally. So we came up with the idea on a Friday, and then the next Monday we presented that idea to our leadership team, and the team kind of bought in. But it was under the condition that we could launch this by that Friday. So less than 5 business days. And one thing that we really wanted to kind of bring everything together, because we wanted it to be a movement. We wanted it to be the positive kind of voice and, see a negativity at the time, was some videography that would celebrate community, small businesses, and the impacts that they have on the communities that we love. So we've always been a huge fan of Evan's work, and we shot him kind of a text out on a whim. I think it was actually an Instagram message, and he came over within 20 minutes, and he took kind of the idea of a simple video clip that we were thinking about and was like, let's make it bigger, let's make it better. And he introduced kind of the slam poem piece, and I'll let him kind of explain more about that. But that is what really, helped bring everything together, and I think is what really moved people and made the campaign as impactful as we originally wanted to make it. But I don't think without that video it would have been as impactful.
Yeah. So Evan, if you can talk a little bit about sort of the process there and what that was like, and working with these local businesses and taking that idea from concept to execution so quickly. What was that like?
Yeah, well, that was it was actually a lot of fun because when I got the text from Brist, from one of their workers there, Allie, she was just like, "Hey, what are you doing? We got this idea." I was like, well, right now, all my projects have been paused, so nothing, luckily. And they just basically said, "We've got this cool idea. We want to help some local business. We want to support people and do the support program." And as we were all shut down as a community, I knew that this was really important because we all need to find ways of continuing to generate income, continuing to stimulate our economy, continue to support our workers. And I thought it was such a cool idea. So when I came in, I basically just dropped everything I was doing in my office and drove over. And when we sat down, like Brendan was saying, there's this simple idea of just like, hey, we want to feature local businesses. We want to show them. And then from that conversation, I had remembered some other videos that I had done in the past that were kind of similar style as far as like a slam poem kind of piece. And I know how empowering those can be, and as well as speak to a larger kind of concept. And so I presented that. I said, hey, what if we did something like this? And from there, we were just like, jumped on that idea and like, yes, and let's do this. Yes, I love, we all kind of got on the same page with that kind of concept. And from there, we started kind of jotting down all the topics we wanted to hit, all the things we really wanted to convey. And it went from basically being a 30-second video to a 2-minute, I think almost but 2.5 minute video, which was not the plan, but ended up being better, I think, in the long run, because it spoke to a bigger issue, and it wasn't confined to just like the Bellingham region. It spoke to small business as a whole. It spoke to America and the current predicament we find ourselves in, and it spoke to inspiring other people and giving somebody a message of hope and saying, hang on tight, hang tight, help is coming, and we've got this. We got this. We are people that can go above and beyond and be able to achieve lofty goals. And so by being able to embrace that kind of concept, and Brendan was immediately, right when he just like got these wide eyes, I remember seeing him and Allie getting the big wide eyes, and then him typing furiously on the computer of like, I'm reaching out to all my buddies. I'm reaching out to my guy that is a writer who's and an actor down in Seattle. We're gonna have him come up and write this thing. So the following day, I was on a shoot, but the actor was writing and putting together some great concepts involving American history and moving forward and getting beyond these obstacles. And so we sat down, and I was sitting there like, what if we did jump cuts to other locations? And so like, again, the next level of, yes, let's do that. Yes, and yes, and. And then I also said, hey, what if we started off, because 2020 was supposed to be the year, 2020 vision. 2020 was supposed to be the new decade of excitement. And said, what if we start off with all the excitement of 2020 and then just slam to just deadness, basically to empty stands, empty restaurants, empty locations that should be full of people. And again, a yes and situation. So all these little pieces were just so vital to really getting those feelings across. And actually, I contacted my buddy in the Midwest and said, hey, can you write a quick custom song for this piece? And so he said, yep, on it. He loved the idea. He knew it was just going to be helping out local businesses. And we went straight to work, and he created something that we could work with overnight, basically. And so all these people, it was such a cool testament to seeing all these people want to help local businesses and want to provide for other people during a time that was it felt like a giant step back. Well, more than just a step back, 10 steps back. It was another step forward in which we can start making ground again and start where we can still support our community. And so in those times of crisis, I feel like it was, important for us to, just say, yes, we can do whatever we can to support our local entrepreneurs, our local businesses, and be able to give them a message of hope during these quieter times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's some very, very evocative images in there, and just the contrast that you make between the beginning of the year and then these empty stadiums and empty coffee shops and all of those things. What were your and this could be for both of you here, but what were what kind of emotions did that bring up for you guys as you were producing this piece and going into these empty restaurants and seeing sort of the state of where things are at right now?
Yeah, it was crazy, because a lot of these people that we went to film in were my friends. They're people that have built their businesses, a lot of breweries, and a lot of restaurants, and a lot of these places that I would meet people regularly for work meetings or just coffee hangouts. And so it was really, really sad to see something that was once so full of life basically ripped. The life was basically just ripped from it. And so it was a shell of what it should be. And I think that was really hard for a lot of us to really comprehend at the time. We just, when you think about an empty restaurant, it's like, oh, this just looks closed down. But it's like, no, these were like middle of the day times. These were not like morning before hours. This was like middle of the day throughout the whole entire day. It was just empty. And it was really, really sad and really hurt my heart because, that meant that people at the top that were employing all these, well, not at the top, but, small business, there's not really anybody at the top, but it was really sad because I know these people and how much time and effort they put into their small businesses, into their babies, their dreams, and to see that basically get halted and then basically press the pause button, it was just heart-wrenching. So it was, I think when we were walking through the spaces, to not really hear the bustle of people chatting and enjoying each other was really difficult. So it further fueled our ambition to make this project really make a difference.
Yeah. And so what about that difference, Brendan? You want to take a stab at that? Like what have you seen as a part of this project and some of the positive things that have come about through this?
When this all went down, this was at the very beginning where I think the shelter in place, happened. And it was a time when, we were asked to be separate. And I think this whole campaign, the goal is to create a message that, hey, we're still in this together and we can continue to find outlets to support each other. And I hope that, that reinforced positive energy with people that, hey, I can be, impactful to my local community, whether it means, going down the street and supporting a local cafe that is just doing, window delivery, or, buying, getting dinner delivered to my house. So I think that was, definitely one perspective is we wanted it to uplift people. Because that's why these communities are built that we love. They're built because of, the togetherness, because the community supports each other, because, businesses rely on each other. And then all of a sudden, the economy halted and it was such a negative time. I feel like you couldn't look at social media or the news without feeling down. And I think this not only, uplifted people, but I hope that it also gave people, the hindsight to think creatively. I think one of the things in the slam poem that I love is I can't has no seat at the table. And I think especially at the beginning stages of the coronavirus, I mean, I felt it. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how we're going to get through this. And I don't think, I can't, that's not an option. And I think, small business owners, they've, since the beginning, we've all been challenged by adversity. Starting a small business is no easy feat. And I think the coronavirus and what's happened is just another obstacle that unfortunately, we have to overcome. And I believe that, together we are going to make it through. And it's an extremely challenging time. Like our business has laid off 80% of our team members. But I'm also, as challenging as that is, I'm thankful for this time because it has enabled us to think creatively and do things differently and come at things with a new perspective. And it's also been extremely inspiring to see how other, businesses and organizations have adapted to these times. You have Baby Greens in town, they launched an e-commerce web store. You have Anomaly Cafe that's doing bike deliveries. You have, so many awesome small businesses that are just adapting and getting by and making it happen. And it's not just a few of them, it's thousands of these businesses all over the country. And I think that video and the slam poem that was a part of it really did a great job at describing, who we are as a country, and how, much grit a lot of the small businesses, have. And I think another big positive piece is the campaign up to this point. We've worked with hundreds of businesses all over the country. So it's pretty cool to see how many businesses are getting involved in the campaign, whether it's signing up or just merely watching the video. It's been really exciting to see. And today we actually had GeekWire is actually supporting the campaign, and they made a shirt and they're donating, all the proceeds to a nonprofit in Seattle. So it's awesome to see how different organizations, whether you're big or small, are leveraging this campaign to do good. We're working with the Chive right now, and that's a big conversation that we're having with them is that, you know, they're not in a tough situation right now, but they see this as an option to, you know, leverage this campaign and this platform, and taking those proceeds that they would make and donating them to, you know, an organization or a fund or a relief that is in need. So it's pretty cool to see how many people this has affected up to this point.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there a place that people can go to find a list of all the businesses that are participating in this, and to order shirts and things like that from you?
We do not have a list. I think we have an account on the website, but that's a great idea. I think it would be pretty awesome to have a breakdown of all the organizations that have supported it. But we do not have that up on the website right now.
Okay. Yeah, but there's a number of different local businesses that are participating, and I know I've seen several links out there with links to the products and ways that you can support them. Great. Well, really appreciate you guys taking the time today. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about this, or how you can find out more information about the products that you're working on?
You can find out more information at wegotThisAmerica.com, and I would definitely suggest watching the video. The video is incredible. It always leaves me feeling uplifted and excited. So give it a watch.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll put the link to that in the description, and a link to both of your websites as well. Thanks again, guys, for being a part of this, and for everything you're doing in the community.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.